Thank you for making time, and I know I stand between you and Kedar and lunch, so I'll try to be concise and fast. You must have seen this today, right? This is how we are describing our AI and knowledge platform, a complete stack up. What we are seeing is we are seeing the data and AI architectures merge together as vector data type becomes a first-class citizen of EDW workloads. This is and expecting that those same enterprise grades of service. So when we look at this new architecture, this new world where data and AI is merging and we're building out knowledge platforms, what does it look like? What does it need for us to meet the most complex of use cases, right? We start with just the hardware optimizations we need. So I'll start from the bottom. The hardware optimizations we need. We need GPUs, right? We need AI accelerated compute. We need a connected data foundation. We absolutely need performant OTF. We need rich metadata to come together. And on top of that, we need the ability to achieve the AI outcomes. Achieving those AI outcomes means we need traditional machine learning, deep learning. We need enterprise vector store capabilities. We need all of the model management capabilities that are available to us. And we want it in a hybrid fashion. We want these capabilities on-prem as well as on the cloud. This AI stack should be able to run for you on an air-gapped system, on a system that can't talk to the internet, and it should be able to run on the cloud as well, right? So this is how, and with the best user experience we can imagine. You know, agentic is one way to achieve it, but really it should be a seamless user experience as you use this system for your data and AI needs. So that's how we are imagining our knowledge and AI platform. And we're delivering capabilities across each of the pillars. We took a stab at compiling all the use cases we are building with our customers, right? And you'll see that they're color-coded based on the industry. When we think about AI for Teradata, we look at the workloads that run on Teradata at the moment. And how can we make it easier for customers to achieve business outcomes? What things need to come together? Pick any use case on this. It's mission critical, most likely in a regulated industry, and we need multiple things to come together to solve for that use case. It's not a single model, it's multiple models. It's not a single data type, it's multiple data types. The management of this system then becomes complex. The AI stack that we've designed this in mind. The economics of Gen AI has to work out for our customers. I anecdotally heard a customer saying that they got a bill of $6 million just creating vector embeddings in the cloud. And they were surprised, they were just playing around, they were kicking the tires around, right? If AI is too expensive, if AI is too power hungry and we are stuck to rigid patterns of deployment, we are not going to be able to deploy it in production and at scale, right? So we look at these use cases, the anatomy of these use cases with ensemble architecture, with multiple data types coming together, and that's how we've defined our AI stack. Now this is a slightly complex and a busy chart, but when we look at AI, we want to deliver things at scale. We have 150 in-database functions which work extremely performantly. We have numbers where we blow, competition out of the water. We can do things that they can do in days in a matter of minutes. Now, we really believe in an open and connected foundation. We've brought the ability for customers to bring their own analytics to Teradata, and that's what you see in the middle column, right? This embracing open innovation. We constantly ask ourselves, is this the place we partner or is this the place we build? Are we going to be able to build best-in-class capabilities here? And we have a rich ecosystem of partners coming in the future as well. We want to be able to deploy these models in scale. We need all of model management. Think model ops, think LLM ops, think agent ops, think RAG ops. We need a place to spin up all the different tools that we're using. We also need a place to manage all of this. We also need AI to be explainable, and we need AI to be trusted. That means we need governance and guardrails integrated in it. And that's what we've delivered with our AI Workbench. We want to give our customers the flexibility of choice. right? Teradata's MPP architecture lends itself extremely well to scoring small to medium language models. We believe the world will gravitate quite heavily towards these task-specific models. You don't need a large language model to solve for every use case that you have when a small to medium language model is able to do it. So we are giving our customers the flexibility. You can bring a small to medium language model from Hugging Face, for example, and score it in database. We perform really, really well with that. You can bring a medium-sized language model or a large language model. We also give you the ability to seamlessly talk to cloud-hosted models. Whether you're on-prem or in the cloud, you can embrace any of these design patterns. These design patterns we support for our vector capabilities as well. What does that mean? That means I can talk to OpenAI, I can talk to Bedrock to create my vector embeddings. I can talk to other large language models like the NIM catalogs offers us from NVIDIA to create embeddings. At the same time, I can also bring models from Hugging Face to create these embeddings, right? And these embeddings can be generated super easily just on a CPU-based architecture when we're able to do that. We did a POC with an Irish customer, and we tried different model sizes, and we were doing voice to text to sentiment analysis. It was fascinating. You know, small to medium language models performed almost as well as large language models. The Irish have a very interesting way of saying three. They say tree. So every single model got tree, not as three, right? But we saw extremely good performance. So fit for purpose AI is what we believe in. So just based on that, some of the capabilities that we've delivered, Enterprise Vector Store. When we were designing our Enterprise Vector Store, we looked at our use cases and we said, they need scale, they need enterprise grades of service, they need hybrid search. 80% of our clients' data estate is unstructured. We want the ability to support multimodal data types. So for example, if you have video, text, complex PDFs, we are able to vectorize it. So we wanted to solve the scale challenge. We wanted to be more performant. And I'm not allowed to say this, but I think we beat the two that matter to us in our scale capabilities. We've delivered some extremely efficient search algorithms. You're able to create your vector embeddings using the 3 design patterns I talked about. We wanted structured and unstructured data together, right? We were not in the business of becoming a Pinecone or a Milvus. Those are standalone vector stores. Most of the use cases we see with our customers is really the structured and unstructured coming together, right? I'm designing for a better car experience. I'm making videos of my car driving on a test track. I have all the sensor information that's structured, and I have all the video information coming to me. How can I design for a better experience using that information that's structured and unstructured in the same place? And again, with enterprise grades of service. One of the key capabilities we have is the ability to travel back in time. If I make a decision right now, and I say this person laundered money, move ahead in time, and I get audited, we are the only enterprise vector store. We are one of the only enterprise vector stores in the market that have the ability to travel back in time to share a snapshot of what the vector embeddings looked like when we made that decision. For explainable AI, that's absolutely table stakes, right? That's where we are differentiated. And again, with the 3 design patterns, we address the cost challenge. You don't have to rely on these large language models. You don't have to rely only on cloud-hosted models to create these embeddings. You can do them on CPU-only infrastructure as well. Here's just a diagram that shows, and I'll speed through this a little bit, on how the vector embeddings are generated, and I spoke to some of those. We talked about temporal insights, where we are able to travel back in time. We talked about massive scale that we are able to deliver in terms of our search functionality. You can do this end-to-end. In the cloud, you can do this with cloud-hosted models at the moment. With Teradata AI Factory, we've delivered it on-prem with an integration to NVIDIA AI Enterprise capabilities. And again, we support the 3 design patterns, so it's open and extensible. Again, why does our vector store matter? It's trusted, it's explainable, it's built for mission-critical workloads, it has enterprise grades of service, It truly brings structured and unstructured information together. That's how we are differentiated, right? And we give you multiple deployment options, like I said, from an air-gapped system to a cloud system. Now let's look at Teradata AI Factory. We announced Teradata AI Factory on June 30th. The goal with Teradata AI Factory is if customers want to run AI workloads and they need a system that has a dedicated AI stack, hardware and software, they're able to run their workloads without affecting the SLAs of their existing EDW systems. What we delivered in the market was an amazing user experience via our workbench. Customers can use Jupyter Hub, they can use other capabilities that I talked about, model ops, LLM ops, as well as RAG ops using our AI Workbench. We delivered Database 20 as part of that, and Vector Store is a key part of our Database 20 engine. And we delivered AI microservices. The idea was, we heard from a lot of our customers, we've made investments in our GPUs already. Can you help me extract value out of those? When we talk about AI, we talk about AI from an inferencing perspective. We want to be the place where you run AI workloads in production. We want to be the place where you can, of course, fine-tune your models or train your models, but we want to be the ones to manage your workloads in production as well. So this pattern allowed us to integrate with the customer's existing GPU investments very, very easily. We now have Dell AI Factory that we sell on our paper. So we have 3 configurations that you can buy from us. So you can buy a Teradata AI Factory and you can buy Dell AI Factory and we can do the integration for you. What happens in this integration with Teradata microservices is we use NVIDIA's NIM catalog to create embedding generations. So the embedding generations are created on the GPUs and they're stored in Teradata's enterprise vector store. So the production deployment of AI workloads happens in Teradata AI Factory. We're seeing an increased momentum around AI on-prem with customers who want more control over their costs and they have workloads that they can't take to the cloud. I talked about some of these key benefits, so I won't go into the details, but really that operational efficiency, not affecting the SLA of your other workloads, and having that entire AI stack that you need to productize AI, even train your models if you wanted to. This is the stack I spoke about, but that's what we've delivered with Teradata AI Factory, right? At the moment, we don't have GPUs. The idea is customers bring their own GPUs or they can purchase Dell AI Factory from us, but we've really enabled a design pattern of following the customer's GPUs and really extracting value from those for in-production workloads. We have AI microservices, which is embedding generation, re-ranking, and we are integrating with guardrails to make sure that you're able to do things with security around it. You get all of the ClearScape in database functions, all of those partner integrations, and enterprise vector store. And you pay one price for it. We don't nickel and dime you on the different features that we are delivering, right? So you're able to run your Gen AI workloads on this fairly easily. And you get the integrated AI workbench with it. So you can manage all of your NIM catalog with it. You can manage all of your models with it. You can check the drift in your models, etc. Now, we talked about, when we talk about AI outcomes, I talked about a couple of things. Our goal is to enable your AI applications, right? Whether it's customer engagement, customer insights, fraud, and we want that experience to be seamless. We talked about AgentBuilder this morning. The goal is, can we make it super easy for you to build agents that run on Teradata, agents that have guardrails around them, and give you an operational framework around agents as well, an AI workbench. We want to deliver AI use cases, you heard Sumit talk today, with ROI. And can we build out components to help you achieve some of those use cases? And can we do this in an agentic manner, right? Where we can give you pre-built agents for some of these functions. For AI Workbench, again, like I think I've mentioned this a couple of different times, this is what you get. You get AI microservices management with that. You get all of the model ops capability, Jupyter Hub integration, Git server integration, as well as Airflow integration. Super easy to use interface for all of your model deployment needs, right? So give it a try. Happy to talk more. I talked about the agent builder on the main stage today. We are doing a private preview in Q4. We delivered a Teradata MCP server that has security. We're delivering role-based access control to it. It talks to hundreds of our Teradata's tools, right? And these agents, because of our history, we can bring contextual information to these agents. You'll be able to do a private preview with these with the agent builder in Q4. Sorry, I'm short on time, so running through those. In the future, we want to deliver capabilities around more agent runtimes. We're supporting some right now, but we'll continue to deliver more agent runtime support. We will have Teradata's MCP server with enterprise grades of service. So we'll enhance more capabilities to our enterprise grades to our MCP server. And it'll come in certain different flavors, right? We'll expose a lot of Teradata's capabilities as tools in the MCP server. You'll have the ability to build agents super easily in a no-code, low-code interface. And we'll deliver agent ops. Managing all of these agents in production is going to be quite a challenging task, right? So in that integrated stack, we'll deliver those. We're announcing 3 pre-built agents with the Q4 private preview, and we'll continue to deliver more expert agents in the future. And that's where we are headed with our agentic AI vision, right? We'll continue to make it super easy for customers to deploy agents on Teradata. If the agents are running on a different ecosystem, they're still able to talk to Teradata very easily. I think I talked about most of this. Again, this is what, if you're interested in a private preview, please let me know. We'd be happy to have you try it. And with that, I'll hand it to Kedar for compute engines.
Thanks, Meeta. The reason why Meeta had to rush through all those slides is because we had a ton of things to give. And as you can see, this is a shift from how we were operating as a company from last year to this year. And you will see that the same theme will continue on the knowledge and the data platform side as well. Before I jump into compute engines, which is sort of a big topic, I want to take a step back and highlight 3 key principles on how we are approaching the whole platform side of it. First, we're starting with workloads, and Sumit touched on this. We want to understand what is the workload characteristics, and then work backwards in terms of what is the ideal infrastructure that will serve that workload best. We don't want to follow the same model that our competition does, which is have a model and force the customers to adopt that model. So what that means is building blocks that will give you choice, whether it is compute or data or workload management. You will have choice to figure out what is the ideal stack that you would need to serve that particular workload. The second is price performance. Everything that we are delivering, you will see that our focus is to ensure we continue the tradition of giving the best performance possible at the most economical price in the industry. The same theme will continue going forward as well. And lastly, hybrid experience. We want to make sure that our customers, whether they operate in any of the 3 clouds or on-prem or a mix of those environments, they will have the same experience. Starting with compute engines, this is the ability for data users especially to come in, spin up the compute, and perform the task. They can scale up this compute seamlessly up or down, and when they are done, they can shut down the compute. You'll see the preview is coming out in the next month of this. So if you're interested in an alpha or testing these capabilities, you're welcome to use this. And we will have continued releases of alpha so that we can give those capabilities for you to test early and give us feedback. And then we'll GA in Q2. But that is just the beginning of the on-demand compute. We are working a lot of pieces to convert that and translate that into a true serverless experience. And what does that mean? Essentially, you as a user can come in and submit the workload, and we would figure out what are the characteristics for that workload, understand the performance requirements of that workload, and then figure out what is the compute that is required to execute that workload within the SLAs that are attached to that workload. And we would do that autonomously for you. So that's the direction, that's the North Star where we are going. Just double-clicking on some of the capabilities for the compute engines, you will see that it's completely on-demand and self-service. So if you want to spin up this compute, you can go ahead and spin it up. You want to scale it up, you can do that. Or you can automate it with APIs. And once you're done, it'll automatically shut down. Once we see that these compute engines are not being used, we would automatically shut them down. And in terms of the workloads that you can run on these compute engines, completely flexible. You can start with the traditional data warehouse use cases that you have. You can modernize those workloads, running analytics, or any of the new AI use cases that Meeta was talking about, agentic workloads. All that will be supported on top of compute engines from the get-go. I touched on the alpha program. Our goal is to work with our customers to shape the roadmap. And if you're interested, we can provide you sandbox environments to test this out. We can work with you in making this be available in your environments, on your data, give us feedback, and help us build this. Next up is OTF. This is something where, honestly speaking, Teradata is behind the market. We've been talking about OTF for a while, and we do have some of the OTF flavors in the market, but they're not performant. So one of the things that you will see as we focus on releasing new OTF flavors is we still stick to our goals of being open and standards driven. So there is a flavor of OTF, which we call externally managed OTF, that is completely compliant driven. So it's multiple engines can write to it, multiple engines can read from it, and it'll still be performant. There's another flavor, which is the Teradata managed. Multiple engines can still read the data that we write, but in the scenarios where you need superior performance, Teradata will write with our secret sauce so that you can read that in a much more performant manner. And all this comes with the same security and governance that you would want to have. It's all centralized. You can drive that through either lake formation in AWS or similar in other cloud providers as well. So just from data and storage perspective, I talked about the choice. We always had an excellent offering on the block store with our BFS protocol. When you have those heavy, steady workloads with stringent SLAs, that is still the best storage tier for your workloads. Sumit talked about agentic workloads. Some of those newer workloads, this high-performance block store is still the best storage tier. Meeta talked about vector embeddings and vector store. Block store is still the best place for that data. That said, there are many use cases that are better served with object store. So you may have unstructured data that ideally you want to store either in the native format in the object store or in the OTF format. So we will still deliver all those flavors, and you get to pick where the data is and what flavor of the data that you want to use. Hopefully, mapping to the workload and working backwards from the workload and the performance characteristics that it wants. This is just a quick preview of the performance that we got in our internal tests. A couple of different scenarios, and you will see that we are actually working with a third-party vendor to test this more comprehensively. The first one is both of the scenarios is in the context of a financial customer. The first one is a multi-bay join with 600 million rows. And we do have some of the competitive benchmarking there. And as you can see, Teradata is much, much faster. And in the second scenario, it's a standard TPS-DS benchmark with a goal of 40 seconds to complete the set. And you can see again, with the externally managed, we hit the goal. And with the Teradata managed, we are much, much better than where we intend to be. You have, we're releasing the externally managed OTF and the Teradata managed OTF in Lake in October. And the same will be available in enterprise environment in Q1. And you will see that for us, performance is not a one and done thing. Even though we have hit our benchmarks for the performance, we are continuing to invest so that that performance continues to improve quarter over quarter. And you'll continue to see this. And the other interesting thing in terms of future direction where we are going with data, just as talked about the compute where we expect to give you an autonomous performance and experience, same thing with data. We have all these tiers of data, the block store, object store, and flash and memory, et cetera. And based on what the workload needs are at that point, we can actually map the temperature of the data and autonomously move the data for you so that you are continuing to leverage all the three tiers for economic purposes, but at the same time, you're getting the best of breed in terms of the performance. So again, that is our goal to ensure that we can provide that price performance without the extra burden of managing all the data and the movement across those tiers. The next-gen hardware, Meeta touched on this a little bit. I'll expand on this. So our goal for all our customers operating on premises is to ensure that we give them a flavor of the next-generation hardware that can be configured to the use cases that you have. So for our existing customers who are running EDW workloads on what we call IntelliFlex, if they simply want to refresh the hardware and get additional capacity, they can do so. They can expand those use cases to drive some of the modern analytics with a lakehouse underneath. That's possible. Or you can bring in some of the AI and analytics workloads on top of it with GPUs if necessary. That's feasible. So again, the platform is completely configurable in terms of what are the use cases. But more importantly, it can scale well. So you can start small, and we have customers in emerging markets who start with sometimes just 2 servers. And as they bring in more data, as they bring in more use cases, you can expand the form factor economically. So that's still the same goal. And most importantly, one of the things that our customers love about our IntelliFlex is the price performance. And we intend to squeeze that last bit of juice, as Sumit was talking about in the keynote, in the newer platforms as well. All of this platform that we built and our on-prem offerings, as well as cloud, of course, comes from a lot of feedback that we got from our customers. This is just a snapshot of the kinds of feedback that we get. Obviously, customers are extremely conscious of privacy and regulatory requirements if they are on-prem. So we are building all the ecosystem around the environment and the infrastructure to meet those critical requirements. And the price performance is always a common theme across our customers. The other thing, again, I want to touch on here is that seamless experience. So we talked about how we are providing, whether you're operating in the cloud or on-prem, the same experience. That all stems from the database Engine 20 that you see there. That's the standard operating system for Teradata going forward. Whether you're in the cloud and you're accessing any of the AI offerings that Meeta talked about, it could be the Workbench, it could be the Agent Builder, it'll have the same user experience on Database Engine 20. And as you move it to on-prem, on our hardware, or it could be your hardware, which is a bring your own hardware scenario, same experience. So it's extremely convenient for our customers to operate in that hybrid environment if necessary. On the cloud specifically, the goal for us has always been to provide access to the best of breed infrastructure that the cloud providers underlying CSPs are providing. So we'll continue to do so. So whether it is AWS or Google, as they bring in newer hardware, newer storage, we'll continue to qualify so that our customers can get all the benefit from that. The other big piece that we are trying to bring in for our customers is support for ARM. And the goal for this is when you test some of the workloads on ARM architecture, you get 2 to 3 times the performance that you would get on the Intel architecture in certain scenarios. So we want to be able to, A, provide that superior performance to the customers, and B, it also increases the pool of compute available, especially when you're going into the on-demand world. So when you're talking about on-demand compute, being able to have access to any architecture, any server instance, will improve the performance and improve the experience of being able to spin up that compute and scale the compute seamlessly. So ARM is a big deal. It's been in works for multiple years and is finally seeing the light of the day. Last but not the least, the data protection and migration. This is a critical piece for a lot of our customers. Think financial. They want to have either a robust backup and restore mechanisms, or in some cases, they want to have an active system. That's what we call the business continuity manager. So we are updating the BCM to 20.x, again, going back to the theme of seamless experience, and it'll be available across all the clouds. So customers can leverage the BCM to set up an active-passive system and a quick failover, or an active system as well. There are other aspects of the data movement. I talked about backup as a service for folks that are focused on just robust backing up mechanisms. Those also are getting enhanced features. And Query Grid is another feature and another product that our customers rely on for the data movement. We are integrating Query Grid with Aeroflight client and server. And that's a huge ask from our customers, especially if you have a lot of data movement between sources. This would be super useful. So this is just going quickly into the BCM, where you can have a standby, and we'll seamlessly make a copy of the data available in the backup. So in case there is any disruption to the active instance, you can switch to the backup with as close to 0 RTO and RPO as possible. This is the integration with the Aeroflight. As you can see, Aeroflight has a rich set of connectors to a lot of other engines that you can leverage with the same data, and it has integrations with a lot of other data sources that you can bring in to Teradata ecosystem. So again, trying to be open and connected, this becomes a key play. And the last is our FedRAMP support. So we already have achieved the medium built for status in the lake. We are trying to bring the same thing to enterprise as well. So those customers that require FedRAMP to onboard onto the cloud, now they can do so. And all this will be available in first half of next year. Yeah, this is just an eye chart of everything Meta and I talked about, so you can take a look at all the things that we are trying to deliver between now and June of next year. That's a lot of capabilities that we want to deliver to our customers, somewhat aggressive and ambitious, I would say. But given how fast this area is moving, that's the promise of Sumit and everybody in his organization, that we want to deliver these to our customers as promised, on time, with quality. Thank you.